Hello and welcome back to the BNI Southeast Tennessee podcast. My name is Michael Crosa with Chattanooga Podcast Studios, and I'm here with Elaine Zambos, Director of BNI Southeast Tennessee. Hello, Elaine.
Hello.
Hello. We are coming to you from the headquarters of BNI Southeast Tennessee in downtown beautiful Chattanooga.
Yeah, headquarters of BNI Southeast Tennessee.
Yeah, I mean, we're in a tall building.
We are.
Yeah. Cool. Elaine, what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about how to work harder and how to work more.
How to work harder and how to work more.
How about how to work smarter and how to work less?
Okay. How to work smarter and how to work less.
Do you like that better?
Yes.
Okay.
I do. This episode of the BNI Southeast Tennessee podcast is brought to you by Heather Hendrickson of the Hendrickson Agency, your favorite insurance gal. Heather helped me personally find the best insurance for my home, and so I recommend her to all of my friends as well. A good referral for Heather would be friends, family, or clients who are going through new experiences in life. Could be a new home, a new move, maybe a new baby. Find the Hendrickson Agency on Facebook or Instagram, or linked in the show notes below. Okay, Elaine, tell me about this. Tell me about working smarter, working less.
Okay, so I can't take credit. Like most everything I do, I can't take credit for. You know, somebody teaches me something, I'm like, ooh, I like that, or I read it, or whatever. So Rick Powell, who is an amazing business coach, he taught me this.
Here in the region.
He taught me this years ago when I first became executive director for BNI. And I'm like, whoa, this is big stuff. And so he coached me for the first couple of years to kind of help me. So what I call it is my 90-day sprint.
90-day sprint.
Yes, okay. I work 12 weeks at a time. I just work 12 weeks.
Okay.
Work 12 weeks.
Yeah.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah. And so what I do is I look at everything, I mind map it, everything that needs to happen in the next 90 days, the next quarter.
Yeah.
Right? Between now and Christmas, what needs to happen? Yeah. I just go, right? Write it all down and you're like, oh my word. Right? That's crazy, right?
Yeah.
But what happens is once you look at that, then kind of prioritize it, like what's real, what's not real.
Yeah.
And then you just write it down and then start prioritizing it. And these are the times that these things need to happen. That's all you focus on. You don't focus on all the stuff. You just focus on that thing, and then that thing, and then that thing. And then you look at it too and go, when do I need to start this? When do I want it finished? What are the tactics that need to happen, and who do I need help from? And so once you pull those together, the whole year, it's like it goes by and you're like, oh my gosh. And it's so inspiring because when you do that, you're just so motivated to make it happen.
Yeah, that seems like it's a amount of time that's, digestible.
Right.
Yeah,
right.
Planning for a whole year, sometimes that can get overwhelming.
Right.
Yeah.
And then you actually go ahead and put those start dates on your calendar, because how many of us always have goals? They never happen, or even forgot that it was a goal until you go back and look at the list and you're like, oh my gosh. And so I show you how we do it. And so here's the strategy. These are the tasks that need to happen.
Okay.
This is when it needs to start. And then who am I going to ask to help me?
I like that idea of planning out when it needs to start. I think that's one of the things that's like kind of missing from a lot of my to-do list.
Right.
Got a due date.
Right.
But that only helps so much, right? Like
right.
Start. Now it's due to start.
Yeah, my husband and I are finishing the house, right? We've been in the process of building a house since March. Mm-hmm. And he would say, okay, I'd be like, I'd come and I'd get disappointed. And I'm like, we don't have a house. There's no house. And he's like, Elaine, they gotta dig it. They gotta put in a septic tank. Okay, well, what happens next? And then a well. And then what? Then we run the electricity. And then what? Then they can come in and stake off the house. And they have to have it staked off by this date because the people pouring the footers come in on this date. And so everything, if you think about building a house, has a start date. Yeah. And we can't start this until this happens.
It's planning the dominoes.
It's planning the dominoes, right. Yeah. And so we do that when we build a house. Well, why don't we do that with our business? Why don't we do that with our life? Right? Yeah. Like, figure out, okay, what is it? What do I want to do? And make it happen. Believe it or not, we are what? 7 weeks from Christmas.
Nuh-uh. Are we really? Okay, yeah.
Maybe 8 weeks, maybe, but not a long time, right? 8, 9 weeks from Christmas.
Yeah.
Now, isn't it now the time to be thinking, what are we going to do for our son for his Christmas?
Yeah.
And start planning that now.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
All right. And so working it through. So whether it's building a house, which makes total sense because you can't build a house until you have a blueprint.
Right. That's very clear, dominoes.
It's very clear, right? You can't lay the flooring. I mean, I picked up my flooring back in February. We still were making changes to the blueprint.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So I can't have flooring until the house is built.
Right.
Right? And so the same thing with your 90-day sprint is look at where are you, where do you want to be by the end of the year, and then lay it out. And then the same thing, you do it for the first quarter of next year. So you're not overwhelmed by all the stuff. It's just those few things that need to happen and being laser focused to make them happen on
Laser
this
focused
and
on
get
this.
started.
Yeah. Very cool.
And to realize you can't do it alone. You
Oh, yeah,
need
ask for help, 'cause that was the other piece.
you need to ask for help. Who do I need to get help from? What needs to happen and who can help me get there?
And that sounds like a great thing you can ask your chapter.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Yep.
Cool. All right. Well, 90-day sprint. Work harder and longer. That's what you said. Right? Yeah.
Work harder
How to
and
waste
longer.
time. No, this is how to save time. This is how to use your time efficiently.
This is how to use your time efficiently.
Yeah, that's great.
Work smarter, and you're working less because you're not spinning your wheels wondering
Yeah.
what has to happen.
Yeah.
How am I going to make these numbers?
You know
Mm-hmm.
exactly. This episode of the BNI Southeast Tennessee podcast is brought to you in honor of the National Medal of Honor Heritage Center, a BNI member nonprofit organization right here in the heart of downtown Chattanooga. The center is a local museum dedicated to the history of the Medal of Honor and Chattanooga's rich history, from the first medals in 1863 to the latest medals. They tell the stories of courage in the face of danger demonstrated by the recipients and educate future generations on the character values associated with the Medal of Honor: patriotism, citizenship, courage, integrity, sacrifice, and commitment. A good referral for the Heritage Center would be businesses and organizations who wish to help honor the legacy of the Medal of Honor and military service. Find out more at the links below or at mohhc.org. Very cool.
You do.
All right, well, that's exciting. And I hope that you agree that this has been a great episode of the BNI Southeast Tennessee podcast. Thanks for listening. And Elaine, you know, I like dad jokes. I hear you got it.
I do have a dad joke. So, ropes.
Yeah.
The first rope asked the second rope,
Okay.
"Are you a rope?" And you know what the rope said?
What?
"I'm afraid not."
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next week.